Hi, and welcome to Chapter 6, Treating Autoimmune Conditions. In Chapter 5, we left with this scenario on this slide, wherein we had genetics creating a predisposition, then we had the environmental triggers in the form of food sensitivities, toxins, or microbials, and then all of that is accelerated when leaky gut is present, and that challenges the immune system, and the immune system goes into a state of confusion or disarray, and that ends up in the immune system attacking our own tissues, which we call autoimmunity. And here is how I showed that in a list form, and I explained a little bit about each of these components, but actually there's more to the puzzle. In order to really effectively deal with autoimmune conditions and turn them around, there are some other components that we need to consider, and here they are. So we have the same scenario with the genetic predisposition and the 3 triggers and then leaky gut. But then adding to immune system dysfunction are 3 important factors. One is the standard American diet on the top left here. And the standard American diet is hard on the immune system. It creates more stress for the immune system, and also it doesn't adequately nourish the immune system so that the immune system can do the job that it needs to do. Added to that, on the bottom center here, is stress. Stress has a dramatic impact on the immune system. It also has been shown to be a component of leaky gut. And then finally, insomnia. Insomnia is important because during sleep, particularly during deep sleep, our body goes through a self-cleaning and rejuvenation process. The brain is detoxified and hormones are secreted that actually rejuvenate and stimulate repair in the body. And if you're not getting good, deep, healthy sleep every night, then that process is impaired, and that also results in deterioration of the body and the immune system. So really, we have all of these components that need to be considered. So these are all of the things that we need to treat in order to address the causes of autoimmunity. When the immune system attacks our tissues, a universal response that's part of immune system function is inflammation. And so on the right here, as a result of all of these triggers and processes that contribute to disarray of the immune system, it results in attacking our tissues, but that is also an inflammatory process. So in treating autoimmunity, we also address inflammation on the right end here in order to lessen symptoms and reduce damage to tissue. It's important to appreciate that what we're talking about here is the triggers of immune system dysfunction and autoimmunity in general. So on the bottom here, we have a number of the triggers that we've talked about, and then you get immune system dysfunction. But these processes apply to virtually all autoimmune conditions. Now, there are different things to be considered in these different autoimmune manifestations, but essentially the functional medicine approach is to treat the triggers and the underlying causes, and then whatever the autoimmune condition is, it tends to correct itself. Here's a revised list of all of the things that we need to address with our process of correcting the immune system dysfunction. What often happens for people is that they are investigating how to take care of their autoimmune condition. They're looking online, or they're reading books and looking at videos online and trying to understand what to do for themselves. And they come across all of these different elements that people are talking about, and it becomes confusing. How do you put all of this together? We've talked about 8 major items here. Where do you start? What is most important? And people basically get confused and then become paralyzed because they don't know what to do. In response to that, for my patients, I created this 9-step autoimmune recovery plan, which incorporates all of these elements. Now, the headings are a little bit different, but essentially this is a pathway from immune dysfunction to immune balance and immune rejuvenation. And so I'm not going to be able to go into all of the details of this approach, of this particular plan here. I will go through the list that we just saw, but if you're interested in a more structured, measured approach that walks you through each of these pieces of how to correct all of these elements of autoimmunity, then you can find reference information at the bottom of this video. What I'll be doing in the remaining videos of this complimentary course on autoimmunity is just going through these different areas, these 8 different areas, and giving you an idea of what to do, what is done in each of these areas to help turn things around for an autoimmune condition, whatever the autoimmune condition is. And so I will see you in the next video.